I power walk down to that pile of gummy bears and back. I should probably set the pile out further, or closer, so I can get at them.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. Hooray! Right now we are live over on YouTube. X, let's see, looks like Rumble is good to go, Kick is good to go, and Twitch. So there you guys go. We are multi-streaming on that 5-count platform. How you guys doing? What's up, Patty Quinn over on Rumble, or YouTube. Whoops. Sorry, I've seen you on Rumble, and I've also seen you on Twitch as well. But hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Power Up Podcast, your number one retro channel that has ever existed in time and space, featuring me, your host, Power Keg Greg, the super elite, bringing you pop culture news that range from movies, animes, video games, manga, all that fun stuff, with hopefully the goal to keep our minds up to date with things and sharp. And yeah, we take a look at what's good, what's bad, what's ugly, all that fun stuff. Also, whenever I see it, throw in some scriptural knowledge in there too. It's always fun. Doing good. How are you? I am doing all right. It's another hot day here in Texas, but we made it through. But other than that, just trucking along, trying to keep our head above the water. If you guys are new and you enjoy the show, feel free to leave that like and push that subscribe button. And yeah, turn on notifications to get notified when I go live, whether that's doing this show or game streaming. Right now we're streaming God of War, Chains of Olympus. It's a fun, bloody game. Back in old 2008, I believe, where you could get away with a lot of stuff because no one really cared. It's amazing. I bring nothing but peak professionalism right here. So, hope you guys are ready for that. And just ignore all the stumbling and stuttering because, peak professionalism right here on this studio. Just depends on what Eddie Quinn says. It just depends on what website I'm on and you're live. So today it is YouTube. Very nice. Thank you. All right. So we got some articles lined up here that have caught my eye, piqued my interest and whatnot. Kind of the main ones I'm definitely interested in is indeed the fact that Borderlands 4 has apparently caved and will not be following Nintendo's retarded trend of making games $80. However, there is something funny about that. So we'll take a look about that. That is not to say that other people will not follow Nintendo's trend, or will follow it, I guess I should say, because Microsoft seems to think that their stuff is worth $80, and that would be the Outworlds 2. So we'll take a look at that and see what's happening there. So with that being said, whoops, damn it, I accidentally pulled the tab out from my stuff. Let me get that back in there. Boop, boop. There we go. Let's hop into it, shall we? Alrighty. So this caught my eye over on Fandom Pulse here, as you can see. The Modern Family actress affirms Hollywood is full of predators after going undercover. I've been the girl we are trying to save. So we all know the insanity that is Hollywood and what happens behind closed doors and what we have heard from other people and whatnot. This is no surprise, but this definitely caught my eye, so I wanted to see exactly what this has to share with us, because that is quite disgusting. Excuse me. So, Modern Family actress Ariel Winter affirmed that Hollywood is full of predators while discussing her recent work going undercover with the nonprofit Safe from Online Sex Abuse, SOSA, to catch child predators. Dude, every time oh, a gnat weasels its way into my room. Gosh, I hate it so much. I hate it when it's super hot and sticky and they just weasel in when you open the doors. It's annoying. So Winter spoke with DailyMail.com where she discussed how she posed as a 12-year-old to expose predators. My goodness. Can be scary at times pretending to be 12 and talking to older men, but it's validating to put away predators that have been harming children. So, growing up in the entertainment industry, I've been the girl we are trying to save, she added. It's vital to me to help protect young females or young women from the experiences I endured in my own life. Yeah, I don't know if like anything happened to her, but I hope not, but that's absolutely disgusting. So Winter would elaborate on this later in the interview, saying, I'm familiar with male predators because I worked in Hollywood at a young age. I started at age 4. I don't want to say too much about it, but by the time I was on a laptop and a cell phone, I was getting inappropriate messages from older men, and it causes trauma. Oh my gosh. But why? This is what I don't understand, though. I'm sorry that if it's traumatizing, but like if you name names, you could stop them from hurting other people. But I mean, that's part of the feeling, used and abused and all that disgusting stuff is because they feel like even if they name names, like nothing's gonna happen because they perceive these people as powerful, which I feel nowadays like doesn't like that's not really the thing anymore. Especially since a lot of stuff have come out to like show just how terrible these people are. And I don't know, I've always felt that depending on how you come forward and you like report this to the police, like they have to take it seriously and they have to look into it because you always hear about like, oh, I told the police and nothing was done. Kind of makes me think of the Jonathan Joss whole situation when his husband, but really wife, was trying to say like, oh, this was all stemmed from, homophobic stuff, blah, 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 blah. And I've always reported it to the police. And then, of course, when you kind of look more into it, which I haven't kept. Isn't that amazing? Also, that piece like just died out immediately because with all the other stuff happening about, like the latest thing I read about that is that Jonathan Joss wasn't exactly a good person either. In fact, the supposed being labeled with homophobic comments, he responded with being yelling out and shouting out racial abusive comments. So I don't know. Yeah, you have all this insanity, so it's kind of hard to believe, who's who. And then of course you can bring up the whole Johnny Depp, Amber Heard stuff, where yeah, they're in the end like the celebrities of Hollywood are really not. They act like they understand the common folk, and they don't. Like they don't. So I just find it insane. Oh my goodness. Jeez. Of course, right when I start. Nothing but peak professionalism, I tell you. Nothing. Anyway, the experience I had in person and online as a child have affected me so deeply that I've had to go to therapy for it. The movie and TV industry is a dark place, she asserted. Yeah. Winter previously shared she was, quote, a victim of grooming online and IRL and CSA, in a post to Instagram promoting her undercover work and the SOSA undercovering YouTube channel and show. She added, this has always been a problem, but in the digital age, it is only escalating to more extreme levels and in a more manipulative way. The access predators have to all children in this day and age is immeasurable. Well, they do immerse themselves in disgusting behavior. So this issue needs to be brought further into the light and fought with everything we have. So Winter also told thedailymail.com, I was surprised by the volume of how many men were out there looking to talk to young girls who were just like 12 or 13. It's hundreds of thousands of men. These men also look like normal, nice guys. They don't look like predators, she continued. Dude, I want to like fucking rip out my entire nostrils along with the mucus and throw it away because I absolutely hate allergies. I hate the drainage. I hate everything. They look like the guy next door, and they're usually married and have children. The men, oh gosh, the men seem nice because they have pets and they show you pictures of their dogs. They talk about their everyday life and they seem like sweet men. But the truth is they want to spend time with a 12-year-old girl. They ask inappropriate questions and want to know if parents are around. We need to like, can we bring back public execution? I feel like they got the point across pretty strongly. She went on to recall one encounter. One guy was almost 40 years old and he wanted to take an 11-year-old girl shopping for a new bra. That's not normal. It's not good. Yeah. That's absolutely asinine. What do you make of Winters going undercover and claiming Hollywood is full of predators? I mean, yeah, sadly we kind of all knew this happening. Hollywood is straight up a cult as well too. So, I mean, there's no surprise there. And yeah, this needs to be tackled hardcore. And yeah, we got to expose these people and, you know, share to the world on how disgusting their behavior are. They need help for sure. But they don't want to seek help, and therefore they need to be justly and severely punished. Especially when they have they're supposedly married and have children. Like, what does that mean, like, for the family too? Ugh, it's insane. Patty Quinn, yeah, says same. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, I mean, hats off to her for pushing past the trauma and going undercover. But oh gosh, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate too. And then you have all these other higher ups, actresses and actresses who take this and then do damage to people who are actually harmed and abused by then using the Me Too movement to go after people that really didn't do anything. Maybe they got into a fight or something, and you know that you had the extreme narcissist on the other end too. It's all one big mess. It's brought about by a bunch of sickos too. Kieran over on YouTube, subscribe. Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, there you go. There's that. Interesting, disgusting, you know. It's good that there's people out there fighting the good fight and trying to stop this too. And it definitely needs to stop. Like Hollywood, honestly, as much as I love, you know, nostalgia from back in the days, because Hollywood did bring some great entertainment. Like this version of Hollywood just needs to crash and burn. It needs to be replaced immediately. And you know, it's getting to the point where actually a lot of the base people from Hollywood and stuff are sadly like dying out and stuff, and it's being replaced, and that's why you're seeing more of this becoming gigantic. It's disgusting. It needs to crash and burn. It needs to be rebuilt. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Otherwise, I'll go on a tangent. So that came from Fandom Pulse. So the next article I have comes from Tech for Gamers. So fans are calling Remedy's new shooter Concord 2. Now this is absolutely hilarious because if this truly is the case, you would think they would learn from Concord that DEI doesn't sell at all, and it crashes and burns quite humorously, by the way, because Concord didn't even make it for like a couple weeks until they grabbed that sucker and they took it off They took it off all platforms and stopped all selling of the physical items immediately. So Concord was arguably one of the worst games in the history of gaming. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst. I would probably say it is the number one worst game in the history of gaming. And it rightfully deserves that title because it's the ultimate example that you can give people who try to, your Alyssa Mercantes out there and your weirdos and Paul Tassini or whatever the fuck that brown coat's name is. It's the prime example on how everything that they try to claim isn't ruining gaming straight up shows that it indeed ruins games. It ruins games so much that you waste money. You don't attract anybody because activists don't want to actually play the game. And it gets taken off. Patty Quinn says, yeah, Concord lasted like 8 days. I hate to admit it, but I did pre-order Concord. I can't stop you. To me, that's like the same thing as people who went ahead and bought the Nintendo Switch 2 anyway. It's like, fine, if you like Nintendo, by all means go ahead and get it. I'm one to not really tell you what to buy and not buy, because in the end I can't do anything, like, unless I physically find where you are and, like, I don't know, tie you to a chair or something and make you not go buy it, which is absolutely, like, insane. But I am one to also be like, well, like, specifically for like the Switch 2, it's like, well, if you went out and bought the Switch, you gave Nintendo more fuel and more ammo to justify them hiking prices. And that's another thing that will tie into a later article, which we will get to, but we'll continue this. So perhaps the worst one, again, not perhaps, it is the worst one. The game was a colossal failure, as not many players on launch played it. Due to that, PlayStation had to shut it down. So now Remedy has released its shooter game. Do we have a name for such game? And while there wasn't much hype, oh, here it is. FBC Firebreak has been released, and it is a massive failure. The failure is so significant that the fandom is referring it to as Concord 2. And the game costs $40. It should, at this point, it should just be for free, just so that people could just see how terrible it is. So why you slapping on $40? The same price tag as Concord, which was launched with, and it doesn't innovate the genre. So players would prefer an F2P title over such types of games. This comes from Pirate Nation. It's got the screenshots. Reviews show mostly negative. That is 37% of 99 of all time. Uh-oh. And then there's your Steam charts. Who knows when specifically that date is? Oh, this shows it was at 6:26 p.m. Today. Ouch. So the game launched today, and its player count didn't even cross 2K. We are aware that many gamers play games during the weekend. Oh, don't try to give that excuse. But a game launching to fewer than 2,000 players is nowhere close to ideal. There are millions of players who love playing FPS shooters, so the market is there. But the game doesn't meet the criteria for that fandom to buy it. Hey, Tech for Gamers, why don't you expand a little bit on what criteria do you expect an FPS shooter to have? Some are even calling it worse than Concord, which is the worst insult it could have gotten. The gunplay somehow feels 10 times worse than Control. Basically, this game is everything people are saying it is to be. Repetitive, boring, lack of content, optimization is pretty bad too. Says a Steam review. I like how they don't even list the person's name for the Steam review. It's just Steam review. So at this point, it's pretty clear that the majority isn't enjoying this game, and it requires a lot of work. However, that isn't the main issue. The fact that this game failed to attract thousands of players despite being an FPS shooter is concerning, and it may face the same fate as Concord. Well, I think, again, like, what exactly is inside the FPS that made it fail? See, this is another example, too, of, like, these companies thinking, well, it's an FPS shooter. That's a big genre that a lot of people have. We'll just make one, and we'll make all the money. And it's like, nope. Like, that's the mentality that all these weirdos have. Like, even in Hollywood with, like, Star Wars and stuff like that. Well, it's Star Wars. Everybody loves Star Wars, you know. And then exactly what South Park pointed out. make her make it a chick and make her lame and gay. Like, it doesn't sell at all. So it won't be surprising if Remedy announces just within a week that Firebreak is going to get shut down. Honestly, looking at the Steam page and the stuff associated with it, I think that getting that many people to fork out $30, which would be 40 bucks in euros, is a win for them because the game looks absolutely horrendous. It is also worth noting that the community manager of Remedy has been involved in some political controversy. Well, there it is, right there. What is stopping people to just shutting their damn mouths and make a good product? The answer, of course, is nothing is stopping them, because for a while, one side of the spectrum was heavily taking over a bunch of stuff and investing a lot of stuff, and had to make it that had to be part of the final product, their ideology. And if you didn't like it, you're XYZ. You're whatever ism or igot or whatever, label they would slap on you. That's why this is absolutely retarded. And this is why, again, why people like nostalgia and they point back to it, because we didn't see any of this crap. And I like to say I spread my net out to get a few people's opinions about this who are actually inside it. I had Vic on, voice actor, Ruben Langdon, inside the video game industry, motion capture, Doug TeNapel, video games. So I feel like I had a wide net to ask people, hey, when you, back in the day, like in the 90s, early 2000s and stuff, did you ever see this? Like, was this ever an issue? And all of them said, no, it was never an issue, because they kept it either to themselves or they kept it behind the scenes, and they would work it out there, and it did not affect the final product. So I'm fairly convinced that, like, you could avoid all this stuff if you didn't make it part of the product. But as we said before, the industry has been hijacked by activists and people who hate gaming and want to actually destroy it. And those people have gotten positions that they have no business of ever having. With that being said, I want to see the actual trailer, because I've actually never seen it. Oh, sorry, that might have been double loud. Comes from IGN. Man, for that guy screaming, he sure stayed perfectly, rigid.
We've had reports of rogue sticky notes replicating across this sector. If you don't cut back their numbers, this whole place will be yellow by morning.
Okay, right away, this looks like an old school, like a 360 PS3 game. Like, that's how dated it looks like. Loki says they make good games, and then games like this. I don't know if we'll get copyright struck, but I doubt it. Like, if anything, this game should be thanking me for even playing the trailer. Okay, this just... Okay. Oh, people floating in the air, like we've never seen that before.
Might contain something useful, but it'll probably attract a lot of... Oh, you already opened it. Never mind. You sure kicked the nest. There's hiss all over you.
This is...
Stand back! Piggy's coming out!
Piggy's coming out. Alright, I've seen enough. That looks terrible. Oh, well, there you go. If you wanted to know what, how can you top Concord and being absolutely terrible, this game seems to have gladly taken that crown and put that on itself. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely awful. So there's a little bit of controversy involving the first Legacy of game. Like the remastered version, they like changed some stuff, and then I think some people bitched and they changed it back again. But coming over to Video Game Chronicle here, another Legacy of Kain game is seemingly coming to the PS5 soon. Well, aren't they coming out with the PS6? So why even bother with the PS5? A little late there. More Legacy of Kain titles are seemingly coming to PlayStation's classic catalog. Looks like Legacy of Kain Defiance. So Soul Reavers 1 and 2 Remastered was released in December of 2024, and now it seems that more games from the classic series will be making the jump to modern consoles. How much are they going to bastardize it is the question. As spotted by Gimatsu, Legacy of Kain Defiance has been rated for PS5 and the PS4. The PS2 game has been rated in Taiwan for modern consoles, which could suggest that it will be included in the PlayStation Plus Classic Games Collection. You can take control of two powerful and highly evolved vampires, Kain, an all-powerful demigod, and Raziel, a demonic angel of death, reads the description for the game. Each equipped with a legendary sword, those two must battle through a world loaded with conflict and intrigue as they attempt to unravel their destinies and defeat the dark forces that seek to condemn the world to eternal damnation. So, scripture-based, it sounds like Kain, if he's being labeled a demigod, so he sounds like he could be a Rephaim or a Nephilim. Raziel, demonic angel of death. I don't know. I know there's some apocrypha that kind of have angel names listed. I don't think Raziel is one that I'm familiar with. I think meaning if he like appeared in like the Book of Enoch or something. Like where exactly? Okay. Well, there is one. He's known as, his name means God is my mystery. Also known as Galitzur. That's the Hebrew word. So he's part of the Jewish mysticism of the Kabbalah of Judaism, who is the angel of secrets and the angel of mysteries. He is also called, apparently, the keeper of all magic. So, if anything, if this angel is actually true, he was probably one of the fallen watchers that swore an oath at Mount Hermon. And those were the seraphim angels that commingled with the daughters of man. Let's see. He's one of the angels associated with the Serapha, Chokmah of Kabbalah, alongside Jophiel. Interesting. Various teachings assign Raziel to diverse roles, including that of a cherub. Okay. A cherub is the one with like the four faces. And they move like in just in one direction because they have one face, so they don't need to like turn or anything. They just that's why Hellel, KGV translates that as Lucifer, is very interesting. That's why I say, like, a lot of people don't seem to understand that. Like, Lucifer is like the most powerful angel because it says that he was in the Garden of Eden and he was walking amongst the gemstones. And he's in, and it says the anointed cherubim, excuse me. And if you read what a cherubim is in the scripture, they don't walk. So a unique angel there. Little fun fact for you. Anyway, so other people say he's a member of the Ophanim. Those are the wheels inside the wheels, and the chief of Iralim. Huh. But where did they get this? Like, I'm trying to see where this came from. Zephyr Raziel Hamalak. Is that like a book or something? It's a grimoire from the Middle Ages, written primarily in Hebrew and Aramaic. Ah, there you go. Well, anyway, that's interesting. Crazy, but interesting. Back to Legacy. Kind of got derailed there. So you got to battle through a world, save it from eternal damnation. Continued the The series continued to enjoy a cult following despite lying dormant for more than 2 decades. The original entry, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, was developed by Silicon Knights under the direction of Dennis Dyack and published by Crystal Dynamics back in 1996. Wow. The follow-up to Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, arrived in 1999. Yeah, my friend, I remember him recommending Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, developed by Crystal Dynamics and directed by Amy Hennigan, who went on to write and direct Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, 3D action adventure sequel. Well, there you go. If you're a Legacy of Kain, looks like another one's coming. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see here. Let's see. Hopping on over to Niche Gamer. Don't know if any of you guys saw this. Apparently an Elden Ring live action film has been announced. So Bandai Namco and A24 have announced a new Elden Ring live action film based on the massively popular From Software produced game of the game name. So the new Elden Ring live action film is being produced at A25 with Alex Garland, ex-Machina, Civil War, and Warfare, serving as writer and director. Peter Rice will produce alongside Andrew MacDonald and Alan Reich from DNA. Original writer on the Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin will also produce alongside Vince Gerardis, Game of Thrones, Jumper, and Dark Wind. And then it just plugs in where you can get a copy of Elden Ring. So here's a rundown on the new film. So it was created under the guidance of From Software's Hidetaka Miyazaki, based on a mythological story written by George R.R. Martin, author of the fantasy novel series A Song of Ice and Fire. To bring the epic world and intense action of Elden Ring to film, the project will be led by filmmaker Alex Garland, who we... Is it just... Oh my gosh. Okay, I think it's literally just repeating what we just read up here. It's okay to have short articles. I noticed that a lot of articles try to pad it by literally just repeating the thing that we read earlier. Tell us something new that we haven't known. The film will be produced by Peter Rice alongside Andrew. Did they mention Peter Rice up here? Oh, they did. Okay, so... And then it's explaining what Elden Ring is. Action RPG set in an authentic dark fantasy world. I guess I could plug in if anybody want to watch my playthrough of Elden Ring and see me get really, really salty. You should check out my playthrough of Elden Ring because it is top tier gold of saltiness. This super elite, like, rocked that game and back with pure rage. The salt mines were like open and flooded every day. It was insane. I did not play, what is it, the Earned Tree? So an Elden Ring spin-off, Night Rain, is set for simultaneously worldwide release May 30th, 2025, or on May 30th, 2025. So that happened not too long ago. Oh, this is an old article. May 2022, according to this. Okay. Well, I'm a little far behind, so sorry if this is old news, but it was news to me. So that shows just how much I dive my head in. Or I'm busy doing a bunch of other stuff. Loki says he was a salty Greg. 10 out of 10 salty. Dude, yeah, it was amazing. It was like Call of Duty, like old school Call of Duty, like saltiness. It was amazing. I encourage tons of people to check it out. Well, in any case, again, if you haven't heard, Elden Ring live action. But we should all clap our hands and be happy. Because Stellar Blade also tops 3 million copies sold. Notice how it says 3 million copies as opposed to players. Like some other companies seem to think that that's actually what counts. Publisher Sony and developed. Okay, this was released yesterday, but we still got to give our credit to where credit is due. They have topped 3 million copies sold. The new milestone includes worldwide sales and comes not long after its big debut on PC alongside Nika themed content. That sounded very close to a very racial slur that I will not apologize for. People misheard it. Stellar Blade has been available for Windows PC and PlayStation 5, and then you can check out their review. So good job, Stellar Blade, for getting 3 million copies sold, probably more now since the release of this article. I am a tad bit disappointed that GOG does not have a copy, or I guess I should say, does not give you the opportunity to buy Stellar Blade. That makes me sad because I do have a problem with Steam and their stupid DRM, Denevo or whatever the hell it's called. Petty Quinn said, it sure did. Well, like I said, I ain't apologizing because I'm just reading a name. But hats off to you. Well, I guess I tipped my hat, but half off to you. You can see my bald head. And that is wonderful. Which brings up the fact, speaking of Stellar Blade, as I'm sure plenty of people have noticed, that you can get a bunch of mods. You can get a bunch of mods and stuff for Stellar Blade. Over here on X, as you can see, Vara Dark pointed out the fact that the Stellar Blade CEO rejects the idea of regulating mods, which is awesome. Now, I want to know if there's an actual... Wait a minute. I think I did actually have said article here. I think I saved it on my phone because I wanted to see specifically the article. Yes, I've got it. All right, let me find it here real quick. Comes from Gamer Reporter, which I do not have a fancy little label made up. Gamer Reporter, Stellar Blade. I've got a blade. Or I can do this instead. Let's just do this. We'll just go ahead and do this. I'll just email myself with the link. Wabam. Then we'll open said link over this away. Here we go. Wabam. All right. So we should be good now. Let me just make sure that it's updated on your guys' end. It is. All right. So Stellar Blade director rejects idea of regulating adult mods. Once the game is purchased, it belongs to the user. Now, you can make the argument about the adults mod portion. This right here is what I think is awesome. Once the game is purchased, it belongs to the user. Period. End of story. Companies, Nintendo, who think that they have the right to brick your console because you soft mod it or do whatever you want, can kindly go fist their asshole. So it's nice and loose. Because it is not their responsibility to try to fight piracy and all that crap out there. Because again, once you own the game, it's yours. If I buy a Nintendo Switch, I could immediately take it outside and burn that sucker to the ground. That also includes of whatever the fuck I want to do with it. If I want to reverse engineer it, I 100% have the right to reverse engineer it. Like, Nintendo can get bent. So, Stellar Blade director and Shift Up CEO Kim Yong-tai has declared that he sees no need to regulate adult mods for the game's recent PC release, emphasizing a philosophy of player ownership and creative freedom. With the Action RPG's PC launch on June 11th, sparking a surge of mods, many of them are risque, Kim's comments have ignited discussion about the role of modding in gaming and the balance between developer intent and community creativity. Well, I know for me personally, when it comes to modding, I will try to find mods that enhance the gameplay in terms of, like, if there's bad programming, controls, or whatever. Some people go out of their way to fix it. HD texture releases, anti-aliasing, widescreen patches, accurate translations with not retarded, localized, woke wording and language inserted into there. Because really, the modding couldn't, like, that's why I love the modding community and, like, the ROM hacking community. But also, if companies just didn't do that and just do what the modding community does, everyone would be happy. So in an interview to the South Korean outlet This Is Game, Kim addressed the influx of mods, particularly those altering the appearance of protagonist Eve, or Evie, often in provocative ways. Stellar Blade is rated as unsuitable for minors, so I don't think there's any justification for regulating such mods, he stated. His reasoning hinges on the game's mature rating, and he believes that once a player purchases the game, it belongs to them to customize it as they see fit. I'm not going to clap super loud, but yes, 100% agree. This hands-off approach is a rare departure from the industry norm, where developers often tightly control how their games are modified. PC release of Stellar Blade has been a massive success, as we know, surpassing now 3 million. When was this article? June 17th. So this was today's article. So very nice. So with this success came an explosion of mods, many hosted on platforms like Nexus Mod, which we have another article, because Nexus Mod got sold, where the top trending modification focuses heavily on Eve's appearance. Think skippier outfits or altered body proportions. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen. While some outlets like PC Gamer have criticized this trend as excessive. Oh, no, they didn't straight up just criticize as excessive. They straight up called it, a Gooners game or something like that? Like, get wrecked. Kim remained unfazed, viewing modding as a natural extension of player expression. Yes. Like, right here. Like, if I want to see her tits, like, dangling all the way down from here, and there's a mod for it, people are going to go out and mod it. Petty Quinn says, I've been playing Stellar Blade just for the new outfits. Loki says, yeah, I got to do that myself on a New Game Plus and get the 2 endings to platinum it. Funny thing, Stellar Blade doesn't need to be modded at all, actually. Very true. I don't play Nintendo games, and the only games I cared about, card fighting Vanguard, is Japanese only. So how can I read the cards? I can't. Unless someone's... that's where the modding community comes in. Because someone could have enjoyed that game just as much, and a bunch of other people might have enjoyed it that got together and translated it. I play Nintendo games, but... yeah, it's insane. It's insane on how Nintendo thinks they have the right to control people's consoles after they bought it. So his support for modding comes with a general nudge for modders to, quote, stay within reason and avoid antisocial or harmful content. Again, this can be debated, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, I agree. Again, it all comes down to what you want, like what you want to do. And there also comes a point to where you need to understand that money, sex, and power are going to be a theme you see in advertisement all over the place, and how to sell a product. It's going to be there in some way, shape, and form. Now, you can then make the argument of how, like how extreme do you need to go about it? Yeah, we can talk about that. But you just got to admit that those are selling points. He expressed a hope that the modding community would explore beyond cosmetic changes, such as new costumes, to create mods that enhance gameplay, like tweaking difficulty or adding new mechanics. Look at that. Straight up saying, hey, here's our codes. Like, if you guys figure out a cool way to add a new experience, do it. Since we don't provide official modding tools, it's hard to change the entire game, but we're looking forward to seeing mods that slightly change the way you enjoy the game, he said. He playfully challenged modders, noting that their firepower is still weak compared to the game's official content, encouraging more innovative contributions. Look at this. Straight up, just like, yeah. Like, I don't got a problem if you guys figured out a way to make it, to give it a fresh idea. Amazing. So his stance has resonated with many in the gaming communities, with posts on X praising his commitment to creative freedom. One user hailed his approach as a stand against over moderation, arguing that mature rated games should cater to adult audiences without interference. Well, yes and no, because then it depends on like what's rated, like what's a mature rating. Now we have to get into the whole like, where's the cutoff line? Like 16, you can get your license at 16. Is that mature enough? Sort of thing. That's a whole nother thing too, by the way. But yeah, Kim also cautioned against mods that could disrupt the game's functionality or involving exorbitant pricing, advocating for a creative culture like a party where they all enjoy it together. And he hasn't also addressed apparently this topic of the modding controversy. He also acknowledged criticism of Stellar Blade's narrative, admitting that budget constraints led to fewer cutscenes and a weaker story than intended. Looking ahead, he promised a richer narrative for a potential Stellar Blade 2. I did read about this. Currently in early development with a tentative 2027 release. So his embrace of modding reflects a broader trend of developers recognizing the value of the community-driven content. It's an amazing concept. Almost like the community that actually buys your products, if you kind of give them what they want, it's almost like they would go out and buy it. Amazing. And then you don't have to be an asshole about it when, someone made a mod about it or something like that. Like, get used to the fact that someone probably rule 34 that crap already. It's already out there. Like, just accept it. By trusting players to shape their experience within the bounds of common sense, well, I mean, that's where it can get dicey, because a lot of people don't have common sense anymore. He's fostering a vibrant, engaging community. As Stellar Blade continues to dominate the PC, it's clear that his philosophy of once the game is purchased, it belongs to the user is a game changer in more ways than one. I agree. And so many people should have that mentality. And then Japan over there and the Koreans over there, do not listen to the woke westernizing localization garbage. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Make a game that you want to do, and don't listen to, well, there's going to be some people that will go, well, this doesn't feel like me. Bitch, get fucked. Not every game has to be revolved around you, and a one-to-one copy of you needs to be inserted in the game. Plain and simple.
Go f yourself.
Well, that was a good article. Speaking of modding, by the way, where is it? Here it is. Wabam. As I mentioned before, Vara also mentioned about this as well, and this was the link that she posted to where she got her information. Dark One. Dark One is the one that runs Nexus Mod, and it's been confirmed that it has indeed been sold to a company that probably is going to share similar ideology. So it's kind of a wash. Yay, Nexus Mod is not being run by this prick, but also it's like, is anything going to change? Probably not. So you're probably going to have to go to different modding sites to get the controversial mods. But here's an update. So after almost 24 years of running Nexus Mod, the time has come for me to step back from the day-to-day management of the site. This isn't a decision I've made lightly, far from it, but one I think is in both my and the community's best interest. I started this project back in 2001 in my bedroom with a 56K modem, an excitement for the upcoming release of Morrowind, and with no grand ambition or intentions. I didn't set out to build a business. I just wanted to make a place where modders could share their work without worrying it would vanish into the internet, either the next time a fan sign went offline or a publisher decided they were done with it. That idea grew legs, sprouted arms, and turned into Nexus Mod. And then you became a woke asshole. I just added that one in there. I'm just taking a guess, but I feel like my guess is fairly accurate. Ugh. Since then, this site has been my entire adult life, every single day for over 2 decades. I've been, quote, on call, whether it was fixing issues, reading feedback, pushing updates, censoring mods that went against your ideology. I also threw that one in there as well, but that one is actually true. Or getting pulled into the latest bit of the community drama. Oh, my friend, I feel like you inserted yourself into the community drama. You did not get pulled in. It's been rewarding, sometimes chaotic, often exhausting, and always personal. Oh, is that so? Like when a bunch of people called you out on your hypocrisy? Somewhere along the way, I forgot to step back and breathe or sleep properly. Well, that sounds like a you problem. I mean, I struggle with like depression and all that stuff every fucking day, like my entire life, and I have no problem sleeping. The dilemma of running a major social network that does not rest. The strain of being responsible for the behemoth I created has taken its toll. Stress of the job has been a regular source of anxiety and stress-related health issues. Welcome to my world, and I'm sure many others. I realize that I have been burning out, and this started to have an impact on my staff and Nexus Mod as a whole. So I firmly believe the best thing for the future of Nexus Mod is for me to step aside and bring in a new leadership to steer the business forward with renewed energy to make Nexus Mod the modding community we all truly deserve. If that was the case, again, you wouldn't remove like the mod that changes the LGBTQ flag in Spider-Man to the American flag, which literally encompasses everything. But nope, that was a problematic. One of the biggest reasons I've been doing this for so long is that I've never felt that I truly found someone who really, quote, gets the modding community the way I do. What, I mean, I'm sorry, but what is there to exactly get? Someone submits a mod, you look at it and go, okay, is it like, does it not involve kid diddling? You know, graping or anything like that, or I don't know. Those seems pretty logical things to do, and if it passes that, then you're good to go. Finding a new owner who would be able to understand and respect my myriad intricacies of both Nexus Mod as a business and the wider modding community was essential. So pretty much, he states he's done meetings, and he's thrilled to say that I truly believe I have found the exact right people for the task. So it's changing hands. Want to be clear, this isn't some corporate exit or backroom deal. This is my doing something I probably should have done years ago, taking care of myself, reclaiming some headspace, and finally letting go of the idea that I have to do everything and be responsible for everything myself. Let's see. So honestly, not a lot. What's changing now? Okay, the team has taken on more of the weight, and the site's been doing better than ever. Okay, who exactly took over? Like, let's get to the point here. So in terms of new faces, you'll also be seeing more of Philadinio, Victor, and Ratska Marinus, who've come on board to lead this next chapter. They've got deep roots in gaming tech, and most importantly, they give a damn about the site, the community, and the future we're trying to build. They have my complete trust, and I'm incredibly proud to bring them on board. So it looks like those people are doing it. Let me check Vara here, because I think Vara pointed out the fact. Oh, yeah, that was pretty funny. Marathon sucking ass, too. Let's see. Nexus Mod has been sold. I thought she posted. I thought she did. I thought I saw a video of her talking about how, like, don't hold your breath about who, like, is changing. Oh, here you go. Platform values won't change. There you go. So I don't know if that says that into what we were reading. We can close that one. Where's that one site that we had open? Lerp-a-derp. Did I accidentally close everything and it's just gone now? I mean, here's the thing. I'm just trying to see where it specifically states that the values haven't changed or something. Oh, ouch. So the leftist running this is finally going? Good. Maybe I'll come back now. Motherfuckers removing mods for no reason because he doesn't agree with it and they ain't even that bad. Laugh my ass off. Well, that sure says a lot since that's the very first comment on the page. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think some people were saying while the values won't change, a lot of people are thinking that Nexus mod is like the cost. Like they're going to put it behind a paywall. I think that's what I saw her talk about. But you can check out that video. I like Vara. I think she does pretty good covering stuff. But there you go. Nexus mod's changing. Will it be for the better? Who knows? Doesn't seem to kind of be the case. But yeah. All right. Let's hop over to one of the main topics here. And that is Borderlands. Borderlands 4. That equals lol. So Borderlands 4 is caved. And it won't cost $80 after all. So Gearbox announced on Monday, that would be yesterday, that Borderlands 4 will cost, this comes from a Video Game Chronicles. We'll slap up that icon there. It'll cost $70 for its standard edition. But it also confirmed a $130 Super Deluxe edition, which includes bonus items and DLCs. But wait, guys, that's not all. You want to spend an extra $20? You can get that collector's edition. The only caveat, the only tiny problem with that sweet collector's edition is it doesn't include the game. Yep. That is 100% retarded. It also announced that the plans for post-launch content for the game, including free and paid DLC. You got 2 new playable characters, new regions, and new story missions have all been promised with full details to be revealed, quote, at a later date. So, Randy Pitchford, that is the Gearbox CEO, he was under hot water because he made a comment, a rather douchey comment, in response to a fan who asked him not to price the shooter sequel at $80. A new high-end price point adopted by Nintendo and Microsoft. And that ties into the other topic I want to talk about is well, we'll get there. Loki says, "What? That's insane." I know. And quite honestly, I kind of want to blame Nintendo. Like, to me, this insanity is going full steam ahead thanks to Nintendo. But back to Pitchford. This is the comment. We read about this, but here's a refresher. Here's his comment. So someone said, "Hey, don't be a fag and make it $80." And he responded by saying, well, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. My local game store had Starflight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991 when I was just out of high school working minimum wage and an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Now, what was funny is I think we read an IGN article or a Kotaku article. I think it was IGN. And like the guy the person who wrote that article commented on his comment and then went into the details about low income like status and poverty and stuff. It was the funniest thing. Again, you know that the left eat each other like inside and out. It's a dog eat dog world over in the leftist cesspool. So it was actually quite funny that the guy bashed another leftist for talking about like minimum wage income, and then I think he went to like great lengths to find out that like based on what he provided, like this was almost kind of like not true. I went out just to find like if there was like those posters back in the day where you saw people like the prices and stuff of games. Man, if someone out there can find a poster that has Starflight for Sega Genesis being advertised, I would love to know how much it would cost. Like, was this really true? And I asked Grok and like ChatGPT, and they straight up pulled this jerk's comment to be like, well, there's one instance where someone claimed it was this, and it's like, no, that's just hearsay. Loki says that's with tax. Patty Quinn says my one Twitch friend, he's a little woke, but he's excited to play Borderlands 4. I think a lot of people said if like Borderlands fell out after 2, but I don't know. $224. Are you paying for the collector's edition plus the game? Wow, that's with tax. $224 if you're paying for the collector's edition plus the game. Oh yeah. You know, that's like 2 electricity bills or something. You can make the argument, give or take. And these companies are like, yeah, you got $224 to spend. You're not going to put that towards bills. Buy our game. Buy our collector's edition that doesn't come with the game. So you have to buy it separately. You'll do that, right? I mean, we made it $70. Oh my gosh. Patty Quinn says, I heard from side scrollers if you get the collector's edition, you didn't get the game. Yeah, I saw that, I think, on there too. Absolutely hilarious. But yeah, you got another article right here confirming that it's true. Anyway, so he later attempted to explain the douchebag comment that he made, stating that while it's important to make sure games are priced properly, the increased costs of game development, manufacturing, or creating an issue where prices increases have to be considered. You see, I have a solution to this. It's called you don't need a fucking mocap every goddamn thing in a game. Everything in a game doesn't need to be super ultra holistic realism to where I can't tell is this real life? Like, you don't need to do that. Not only that, the characters don't need to be the person mocapping. Okay? It doesn't need to be a 1-for-1. There you go. That's how you can save pricing. Another idea, too, is, you know, that Assassin's Creed credits at the end that's like over 2 hours? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of those people could have been fired. The truth is, I don't know what the price is going to be, he wrote. I do know that we will be opening pre-orders soon, and that will be when the price is set. So he went on to say that Gearbox's aim is to make sure the game feels like value for money, regardless of the pricing, meaning if it does end up costing $80, it's important for the player to feel like it's money well spent. And this is where I hate Nintendo, and this is where Nintendo I am 100% convinced they knew exactly what they were doing, and they did not care about it. And this is the thing. A lot of modern games nowadays are not worth $80. You can even make the argument that nowadays it's not even worth $70 anymore. And Nintendo ruined everything by just straight up jacking up the prices because they knew that Nintendo shills would come out of the woodworks to buy their shit to justify their pricing. Now, they try to pull that back a little bit, you know, by blaming the tariffs and then going back to where it's like, oh, something else. And then trying to pitch, well, you know, it's going to be a price by price basis. No, you knew for a fact that setting games to $80, maybe even more, other companies are going to follow. You knew that 100%. And I got proof about that too, by the way, because that's what another article we're going to be reading about is that we're already seeing it to start to happen. So, it's later confirmed. Okay. That's pretty much the end of this article. You can find where, you know, what consoles are going to get it and all that crap. There you go. Now, I did kind of want to read this. I don't know how long we'll take to read this. But this comes from Fandom Wire. Because they have an article here saying 5 reasons why you should spend $70 on Borderlands 4. So tell me these 5 reasons, please. I am dying to know. So 3 versions of Borderlands 4 are available for pre-order right now. The Standard, the Deluxe, and the Super Deluxe. I thought, okay, they're calling it deluxe and super deluxe. I thought it was like deluxe edition and collector's edition. But in any case, in case you're new to the whole franchise and trying to see what the hype is about, then you should definitely go for the standard version of the 70 games. Here's why. Number one, brand new planet, Kairos. I feel like number one should be you actually get the game, as opposed to the other editions where you do not get the game. So major fail at this one already. So here you go. It's going to take place in a new planet called Kairos. The game isn't exactly open world. It's just Gearbox has described it as a seamless connected spaces. The planet is divided into 4 zones, and then you can explore them with no loading times, apparently. Pitchford has also explained in the past that the world in Borderlands 3 was, quote, more compartmentalized, but now 4 is more open and free. Number 2, as to why you need to drop the old $70. It's better weapon customization and gunplay. Almost like that should just come as a standard in any continuation of the series. So in the gameplay footage, Gearbox revealed some new weapons from 8 unique in-game manufacturers. Order, Ripper, Daedalus, Tedior, Malawan, Jacobs, Valdorf, and Torga. We all know that new weapons would be coming, but what's special in the new licensed parts system? Players will be able to make unique builds, as a single weapon can be incorporated with behaviors and abilities from multiple manufacturers. And then in 3, legendary weapons were dropped too often, so beer box. I was about to say beer gox. My dyslexia kicking in. Gearbox has also worked on that to make sure legendary weapons are not devalued. All right. You'll get a better co-op. Okay, these points are so basic. Like, you're not fooling me and try to pass this off as like a really well in-depth article. Sorry, Fandom Wire. I mean, this should just be a given. Number 3, better co-op systems. Number 4, better movement mechanics. And number 5, the new Vault Hunters with diverse skill trees. So there you go. Holy crap, that looks... I don't know, but it feels woke to me, that picture. But there you go. Midpoints, honestly. Yeah, very midpoint-ish. All right. Well, the fact that I stopped reading this midway because I was not convinced at all. But still, why don't you guys go ahead and look at it for yourself? Maybe you'll be convinced. But there's that. But just to, again, showcase that if you just go to Borderlands 4 over on X here, you can clearly see that people are calling out the bullshit. This guy, fuck Borderlands 4. In order to get the complete experience, you need to put down $138 plus tax. And if you're dumb enough to get their collector's edition for $150, you'll still need to put down that $130 because it doesn't come with the game. Corporate greed at its worst. Anyone falling for the Borderlands 4 is now $70. Woohoo! Schemes is a retard. Anyone I love it. Straight shooting. Anyone that wants you to believe this company actually cares about you, that you want anything, that the developers listen to you, is a grifter. Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition doesn't include the game, says Pirate Nation. There you go. So, yeah, I got Hypnotic here. Grums. Another Grums. Tons of people calling out the bullshit. Tons of people. And it is bullshit. And it's bullshit because of this, because of Nintendo. Because thanks to Nintendo's Mario Kart World, Microsoft, this comes from Bounding into Comics here. Slap that up. Microsoft has confirmed that The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be the first $80 Xbox game. So in the wake of Nintendo setting a new, albeit unfortunate industry standard with Mario Kart World, Microsoft has announced that Obsidian Studios' upcoming The Outer Worlds 2, whose narrative, ironically enough, centers on mocking unchecked corporate greed, will officially release as the Xbox brand's first ever $80 game. Good job, Nintendo. Congratulations. You set the standard. The price point evaluation was first confirmed by way of the recent Xbox game showcase. As part of the event, Obsidian Studios released both the trailer and a pre-recorded direct presentation, the former providing players with the first major look at its gameplay, latter detailing its development, creative intentions, various retail editions. And then like its predecessor, it pairs, FPS, RPG combo gameplay, tongue-in-cheek satire of capitalism, robber baron style corporatism, human greed, dropping players into an alternate future where the universe's domination by various mega corporations has resorted, and most of humanity is being forced to work for them as essentially indentured serfs. So playing in the setting, the trailer mockingly closes with its narrative praising The Outer Worlds 2 as, quote, an adventure made for capitalism by capitalism, inviting players to celebrate the glory of capitalism by pre-ordering today. So likewise, the direct frames its behind-the-scenes info between a number of live-action skits, Sonic Hedgehog, Obsidian's head of... Okay, whatever. Though played for laughs, these iconic condemnations of corporate greed took on a slightly more uncomfortable feel when the direct ultimately revealed that The Outer Worlds 2 would be Xbox's first game to launch with an MSRP of $80. And that's just the standard edition. For an eye-watering $100, players can snag the premium edition, which includes the game. Well, congratulations on including the game, unlike another studio that we just read. 5 days early access, a DLC pass for story expansion 1 and 2, corporate appreciation premium prize pack. Its contents include armor, weapons, and a pet, various pre-order exclusive items, as well as digital copies of its art book and soundtrack. Oh boy, digital copies. You don't even get a fucking physical anymore. Never really got into shooters, but I do love playing Fortnite. Yeah, I played a little bit myself, but I grew up with Call of Duty games. Oh, Loki and Patty talking about COD. COD was awesome back in the day, not anymore. So, of course, this announcement went over as poorly as one would expect. In other words, not well. Go to the Outer Worlds 2 Steam community page, and interested players found themselves in utter disbelief, their frustration resulting in an explosion of threads featuring such titles as $80 base price for this is insane. The price is a joke, and $80 hard pass. $80 for a woke game? Apparently, there's one called Add Ukrainian Localization. Okay. Is it April 1st? Whoever asked for a second one of these? $99 for us Canadians. Ouch. That's not good at all. And then a lot of people busting the balls of it being $80 that you can find on X here. So at the time of this writing, Sony is the only one of the big three yet to increase their prices for their AAA games to $80. This isn't even including the myriad of major publishers. Oh, I'm sure they're gonna follow. And this is what I pointed out right away, is that all these people will think that their games are worth $80, the standard version, when they're not. And you can thank Nintendo for that. And like I said, if you wanted to buy the Switch 2, go ahead and buy it. If you wanted to buy Mario Kart, go ahead and buy it. But just know that you were indeed part of the, I guess you could say, survey, for lack of better terms, in Nintendo seeing just how much people are willing to pay and not, because it's just Nintendo. And yeah, Nintendo make Nintendo games, and they're, for the most part, really good. Nope, doesn't justify an $80 game. Sorry. Especially when you put on a price, an increased price tag on a console that just now came up to what the standards are for any sort of technology. And again, for me, my biggest thing is the fact of them saying that they have the right to break your console if they think that you're doing something fishy with it. 100% bullshit. Well, let's see. What else do I have? We are over the hour mark here. I did find this over on Niche Gamer again. Xbox announces multi-year partnership with AMD for multiple devices, including the next-gen Xbox. So it's announced its new partnership with AMD to produce a portfolio of devices, including the next-generation Xbox console. While details on the actual partnership are scant, Sarah Bond, that would be the Xbox president, teased the deal with including a multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon for our portfolio devices, including the next generation Xbox consoles in your living room and, quote, in your hands. The last bit is a direct tease at the long-rumored Xbox handheld, though the recently announced ROG Xbox Ally handheld will only run a modified version of Windows 11 and is not natively running the Xbox operating system, and thus is not a handheld Xbox. Amazing. And then you can pretty much... Previously, rumors on how Microsoft was approaching the next Xbox hardware led to endless speculation. Bond confirmed their team was moving full speed ahead on the new hardware and that it will deliver the biggest technological leap over in a generation. And that's kind of where the PS5 failed, because I thought the PS5 was actually really good technology-wise, but they just did a shitty job marketing and had no games to play. So you can watch the video here. Bonnie said in a new message, this is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you so you can play the games you want cross-device anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked in a single store or tied to one device. That's why we're working closely with the Windows team, ensure that the Windows is the #1 platform for gaming. The next generation of Xbox is coming to life, and this is just the beginning. We cannot wait to show you what's next. Loki says, PS5 saving sucks. Like I said, I thought I read somewhere, I thought between everybody, Sony was the one where technology was kind of the high. It's the one that used the most highest technology or current technology, I guess you could say. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember where I read. Could have just been someone's comment. I don't remember. But as I've said in past streams, every AAA, gaming studio here, or a company, I guess I should say, they all have their problems, each and every one of them. But yes, so you have that. I did have a Video Game Chronicle here article that talks about pretty much how the Arthur Morgan voice actor is apparently also teasing something Red Dead related following previous John Marston tease. Someone said, do you know what the Red Dead news is Rob mentioned? You don't have to tell me what it is. I just want to know if you know. And he said, yes. Apparently, Rob Wheathoff, who played Marston, announced during a live stream that he had, quote, exciting news, implying it was related to the Red Dead franchise. Now the actor behind Arthur Morgan has thrown fuel on the fire. When asked by a fan if he knew what the upcoming news was, he replied, that would be Roger Clark, who played Arthur. He replied, yes, with a gif of the dog with the wry smile. There it is right there. Adding to this, Roshir Dalla, who played Charlie in the game, also replied with a teasing gif suggesting more of the cast are involved. There you go. So while it's easy to leap to the assumption that all of these teasers are pointing towards a heavily rumored current-gen patch for the game, there's still a possibility it's not related to a video game release at all, and it could be a different Red Dead-related announcement. New content had been recorded for the game, or if the original cast was involved, and for a new update, it's likely it would have been subject to Rockstar's famously strict NDAs, which would explicitly forbid such social media teasings. And then it pretty much talks about when Red Dead Redemption 2 was released. Take-Two CEO was asked his thoughts on the Switch 2. He replied that the publisher was planning to support Red Dead Redemption 2 for the Switch. And there you go. So there was that for Video Game Chronicles. And then the last one I had also came from Fandom Pulse again. This one was pretty interesting. Tolkien Society attempts to hide its SJW infiltration of Tolkien scholarships and the Lord of the Rings. So Robin Ann Reed, a former professor in the Department of Literature and Languages at Texas A&M University Conference, revealed in a Substack post that she had submitted a paper to the Tolkien Society titled Racing to Gender Arda, a stylistic analysis in which she allegedly provides intersectional analysis on Tolkien's work. While her proposal was accepted, Reed claimed that the Tolkien Society requested that she change her abstract because previous public posting of abstracts led, quote, to online harassment on and from social media. And then the Tolkien Society received significant backlash back in 2021 seminar and 2022 Oxymood event. It held a Tolkien and diversity seminar that rightfully spurred, critics to launch their own seminar at counter programmings. Oh, my Lord almighty. This just sounds retarded. So the institution describes its Tolkien and diversity seminar representation, and now more important than ever, Tolkien's efforts to represent or ignore particular characteristics requires further examination. No, it doesn't, because he made the world the way you wanted it. Get fucked. Additionally, how a character's identity and whatever shapes it. So I'm not even going to read the reasoning why they needed to have a Tolkien and diversity seminar. The point is that the Society of Tolkien launched a counter program and explained its purpose. When J.R.R. Tolkien created Middle-earth, he filled it with characters, themes, and dangers that leapt from the pages to intrigue, excite, and give hope to his readers. In these sessions, we'll explore these concepts to celebrate all that makes his work stand the test of time and what we should take from them today. And then the Tolkien Society faced backlash after revealing it was featuring a paper by Reed titled J.R.R. Tolkien Culture Warrior, the Alt-Right Religious Crusade, Appropriation of Tolkien. Don't you just love it when woke people who have Reddit knowledge when it comes to Christianity or what have you think they know better than, Christians and all that stuff? Absolutely hilarious. Wait, now we have why did we jump? I was just scrolling down. Why did we jump from there to the No Kings rally? A guy who did that assassination on those two lawmakers. What the hell? Oh my gosh. All right. She had a letter. Your concern is that my proposal to develop a phenomenological and stylistic analysis of how Tolkien's narrative voices entangle female characters in Earth, resulting in a racialized wide gender, could lead far-right extremists to assume that I and the Tolkien Society are fellow travelers in their authoritarian desire to build their fantasy of a white Christian patriot. See, dude, what I just read there was a bunch of gibberish. No one gives a shit about this. No one. Gosh. And it's been talked about time and time again where Tolkien stand about stuff. Now, I have some thoughts about Tolkien in general. But that's another time for another topic for another time. I just want to know how she posted that, and then she pointed to the assassination of Minnesota Speaker of the House Melissa Hortman and her husband. While I understand you fear of drawing their attention again, especially given the increase in the alt-right attacks occurring offline, as the recent assassination of Democrat representatives in Minnesota show. Yeah, except straight up left-wing No Kings posters were found in the suspect's car. So get wrecked, you piece of garbage. Every time. But I'm sure it was all like staged, right? Sure it was, MAGA supporters who pretended to be Antifa or left-wing carried out that assassination. It's always that way when it comes to that. But of course, when we say it was leftists who dressed up as MAGA supporters and did the whole, the most bloodiest bloodbath that we ever saw, January 16th insurrection, where blood and bone was just pouring and dripping out onto the streets. That was actually, No, it wasn't the leftists. Wasn't us. Wasn't us pretending to be MAGA. That was actually MAGA. All those police officers getting, getting beaten and all that stuff. Never mind Ashley Bobbitt getting straight up murdered. Never mind that. Oh my gosh. My brain is fried from even remotely going to that. Maybe I'll read that in a more, on my own time. But if you want to see the insanity of the Token Society trying to hide its SJW infiltration of that, you can check this out. But that is all I have for you guys today. We were on YouTube, Rumble, X, Kick, and Twitch, so make sure to follow me all over there. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to turn on the bell to get notified by turning on notifications. I didn't check out anything over on that Park Place. See what articles they have. Oh, well. Greatly appreciate the support, though. We are the #1 retro gaming channel that has ever existed in reality. With me, your super elite host, Ginger, who provides 100% professionalism to the absolute max with no stuttering, no stumbling, no misreading of words ever. You can go ahead and look at my backlog. You will not find a single error on my end. It's all on your guys' end. But let's end this here with what games came out throughout the many years. And we'll check out the next day, too. Just drag this over. Oh, I guess I should have made a little badge for this day in gaming. But here you go. Oh, Loki says you have to have a PlayStation Plus because you got to use the backup save style, but then your PS5 is reset then. Oh, well, that sounds not fun at all. But in any case, throughout the years, on June 17th here, look at that. We got Blaster Master for the NES, Mega Man Battle Network 2 for the Game Boy Advance. A great Dragon Ball Z game, Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku. Did everything that the Legacy of Goku did right, which was very, very little, and just made it better. Like from the Legacy of Goku game where you fight wolves. That's always fun. Oh, Silent Hill 4: The Room. There you go. What else do we got? Not really seeing anything else, but some decent games there. Blaster Master. Wonder if Crusader of Senti is pretty good. Sounds like an RPG. I just want to see what it looks like. I love how all the screenshots. Oh wait, there's a next button. Yep, looks like an RPG. Okay. I was gonna say I like how all the screenshots are just the opening cutscenes, but I'm dumb. Let's see what games are out there tomorrow. Ooh, Crisis Beat. There you go. Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, NBA Jam or NBA Street. Ooh, Twisted Metal Black. There you go. For some Twisted Metal fans out there. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Is that a rail shooter? Let's see. Yeah, it's a light gun. I like me a good rail shooter light gun game. I don't know how good it is. I'm just saying in general. Let's see. What else? Pokemon Conquest. I don't know how popular that one was, but that came out for the DS. Oh, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, I heard is good. I actually have that game. It's on my backlog list, which you can find on my locals. I have a lot of RPGs on my locals. I mean, if anybody wants to see me play anything on my backlog list, you can sign up for free over there and just let me know. Right now, we're playing God of War, Chains of Olympus. Back when God of War was awesome, even as a PSP game. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else that stands out? Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. Alrighty. But there you guys go. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. So we'll do some redirecting over on YouTube, maybe on Rumble if we can. For some reason I feel like I can't raid on Kick or Twitch. So, or the people that I follow, like, don't have raids turned on, or I'm just don't meet the criteria enough. But in any case, thanks again to everyone who enjoyed the show. And of course, if you want to go beyond that and help support the channel so I can do, play more games, maybe do more content. Well, not maybe, I would do more content, more in-depth reviews, script content, and whatnot. You can always check out membership and subscription tiers over on YouTube, Rumble, and pretty much over anywhere. You have different tiers. Right now, you can get a little pizza badge because pizza is awesome. And you can also check out, super chats, Rumble rants, all that stuff. All of it would go towards just helping build the channel grow. And I don't know, pull a DSP. Guys, I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen. I try to build this stream based on positivity, and right now we're just, I need as much bits as you can. I need your help. Gotta pay the bills. Get that Axe Detailed body wash. Okay. Well, Vara's online. We'll raid her. Vara's like one I know that I follow and watch. That she's always around. She's always online whenever I'm online. And then over on Rumble, no one that I really see. Let's see. Anyway, I wish the raid feature on Rumble would be a tad bit better. I don't even know how to raid over raid channel. It just says same category. See, the thing is that I don't know any of these channels. That's usually my thing. I like to at least know or get to know the content that I would raid to enjoy. Like if I enjoy it or not. But whatever. All right, we'll send you guys over to Vara. You guys have a good rest of your night. Take care and God bless. Should be online tomorrow doing some more, declaring war on Greek people in God of War. So you guys have a good night. Take care and God bless. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
I am 30 or 40 years old and I do not need this.